When Americans think of Route 66, the images that spring to mind are neon signs glowing in the desert, roadside diners, and the endless ribbon of pavement stretching from Chicago to Los Angeles. But hidden in the long shadows of this mother road are the gas stations, some elegant, some crude, that made the dream of the American road trip possible. They were more than just places to fill a tank. They were icons of style, community, and survival. Today, many of these service stations are boarded up, their pumps rusting under the prairie sun, their logos fading into history. Yet in their heyday, they shaped how Americans traveled, how towns prospered or declined, and even how cars were designed. Let's step back in time and rediscover the forgotten filling stations of Route 66 that changed road trips forever. The birth of roadside fuel stops. In the early 1910s, as the automobile replaced the horse and buggy, filling your tank wasn't as simple as pulling into a service station. Early drivers often bought gasoline in sealed cans at general stores or hardware shops. There were no dedicated pumps, no drive-thrus, and certainly no bathrooms or snacks. By the 1920s, the demand for dedicated service stations exploded. Route 66, commissioned in 1926, was the perfect corridor. Stretching 2,448 miles, it carved a path through 8 states and countless small towns. Oil giants like Standard Oil, Texaco, Sinclair, and Phillips 66 rushed to build standardized stations that would double as brand advertisements. Every pump, every canopy, and every glass window was designed not just to sell fuel, but to sell trust. If you saw the green dinosaur of Sinclair or the bold red shield of Phillips 66, you knew the gas wouldn't leave your engines sputtering. The stations that looked like home. One of the cleverest marketing tricks was designing gas stations to look welcoming, sometimes even like small houses. Standard Oil perfected this. Their house-style stations had pitched roofs, white clapboard siding, and neat landscaping. To the weary traveler, they felt like a safe, home-like stop in the middle of nowhere. For small towns, they were often the first modern building along the road. Symbols of progress that made residents feel connected to the great national highway. These stations weren't just about gas. They offered air for tires, water for radiators, and free road maps. Some attendants wore crisp uniforms, wiping windshields and checking oil levels with a friendly smile. This ritual became part of the romance of Route 66. The neon temples of the Southwest. As cars got faster and Americans more adventurous, station design shifted from cozy to bold. By the 1930s and 40s, especially in the Southwest, stations became miniature temples of neon. In Albuquerque, Amarillo, and Tulsa, gas stations sported towering signs that could be seen from miles away at night. They doubled as beacons, assuring motorists they were still on track and not lost in the desert. Some stations went further, adopting regional themes. In Tucumcari, New Mexico, you could fill up at a Pueblo revival-style station, complete with stucco and vigas. In Arizona, Navajo and Hopi motifs decorated roadside pumps, blurring the line between filling station and roadside attraction. The message was clear. Buying gas wasn't just a necessity. It was part of the experience. Family-run lifelines. While oil giants dominated the landscape, many of Route 66's most beloved stops were family-run independents. Mom and Pop didn't have standardized architecture or national advertising campaigns. What they had was grit and hospitality. A typical independent station might sell gas from a regional supplier, offer homemade pies from the wife's kitchen, and let travelers use a bathroom that doubled as the family's. They became lifelines for motorists stranded by flat tires or empty tanks on long rural stretches. In many towns, these stations were more than businesses. They were social hubs. Locals swapped gossip there, farmers hauled in to fuel their trucks, and kids begged their parents for a nickel soda from the cooler. The Great Depression and survival. The 1930s tested every station along Route 66. The Dust Bowl sent thousands of families westward, their overloaded cars crawling toward California in search of work. Gas stations became sanctuaries along this migration route. Owners often let desperate migrants camp overnight, draw water, or pay for gas in installments. Some took sacks of grain or labor in exchange for fuel. The sight of battered Model Ts stopping at small stations became a symbol of both hardship and hope. In this era, the gas station was more than commerce. It was compassion. World War II changed everything. Gasoline rationing and rubber shortages cut long leisure drives short. Many stations closed, unable to survive. But after the war, with returning veterans and booming car ownership, Route 66 roared back to life. This time, uniformity became king. Texaco's Star, Mobil's Flying Horse Pegasus, and Philips' 66's Shield became national icons. Companies enforced strict design rules, ensuring travelers saw the same polished image whether they were in Illinois or New Mexico. It was the birth of corporate branding on a national scale, and gas stations became some of the most recognizable architecture in America. The amenities arms race. By the 1950s, cars were bigger, highways were faster, and families were hitting the road for vacations. Gas stations had to do more than pump fuel. They had to keep kids and parents happy. That meant spotless restrooms, vending machines, and later, snack bars. Some stations doubled as mini-museums or gift shops. In Shamrock, Texas, the Tower Station dazzled with Art Deco spires and a diner attached. In Missouri, stations advertised cleanest restrooms on Route 66, a surprisingly powerful marketing pitch to mothers. For many children of the 50s and 60s, memories of road trips are inseparable from the stops at these glowing, friendly stations, where a Coke and a candy bar felt like the highlight of the day. The decline with the interstates. The 1960s and 70s brought the slow death of Route 66's independent filling stations. President Eisenhower's interstate highway system bypassed small towns, cutting off traffic that had sustained them. Where once cars lined up for gas in places like Seligman, Arizona, or Gallup, New Mexico, pumps sat idle. Families now zoomed past on modern interstates, stopping at large, standardized travel plazas rather than charming, quirky local stations. One by one, neon signs went dark. Some stations became auto repair shops, others diners, and many were simply abandoned. Ghosts of the Road Today, traveling Route 66, is a nostalgic journey filled with ghosts of these stations. You can still see the skeletons, concrete pads where pumps once stood, weathered canopies with faded paint, and broken glass windows where attendants once waved. But thanks to preservationists, some stations have been restored. The Tower Station in Shamrock gleams again as a visitor center. The Cool Springs Station near Kingman, Arizona, has been rebuilt from ruins. The Round Barn Station in Arcadia, Oklahoma, once falling apart, now draws tourists who want to glimpse the spirit of the old road. Why they changed road trips forever. Route 66's gas stations weren't just about fuel. They defined the rhythm of the journey. They turned a logistical necessity into an experience. They influenced car design, with bigger tanks and higher octane fuels, shaped small-town economies, and embedded themselves in the collective memory of generations. Without them, the romance of Route 66 would be incomplete. They gave travelers more than gasoline. They gave them stories, comfort, and a sense of belonging to a vast, rolling nation. When you drive Route 66 today and see a boarded-up station with weeds pushing through the concrete, pause for a moment. Imagine the laughter of families piling out of cars, the ding-ding of a service bell, the smell of gasoline mixed with hot asphalt, and the neon glow cutting through a desert night.